Salutations, hello, hi, and welcome to Basic Public Speaking. I'm Christy Thomas. I'm your professor and instructor for this course, and this is the video chat for the breakdown of the first few weeks, including due dates, and kind of just what we're looking over. Now, at this point, you have seen the introductory video, you've checked out all the pertinent course information, syllabus, schedule, and the weekly video. This video, I will open, and it will remain open for the first probably month worth of class, and then after that first month I will close this video. As stated in the introductory video and week 1 video, is anytime I open something, it remains open throughout the course unless it's a weekly video, and those I kind of just do on a week-to-week basis because it's just talking about what we're doing that week. Now if I cover a couple weeks in it, it will stay up for a few weeks. With that being said, let's get into it. So again, this is a discussion breakdown of the first few weeks, lessons and due dates. So week 1, this is August the 18th through the 22nd. We're just doing an introduction to this course. So this is where you will look at the Welcome to Public Speaking module, and in that module again is the syllabus, speech descriptions, video chats, just all the important course information and information from ACTC, and the best way tells you how to communicate with me, that's via the syllabus. It also has grade breakdowns, all that is found there. So again, that's what we're doing during week 1, is that we're checking that out, and then we're also looking at the communication theory process module, and we look at this because it's the basis. It doesn't matter what course you take in communication, this is the basis of all communication. So I kind of like to involve that in our beginning world. So we're checking out the communication theory, we're checking out all the introductory stuff, and then also the Canon's rhetoric the Canon's rhetoric module is open because week 2 you'll have something to do with that, but I open it up so you can check that out and look over that as well. And as with most modules, and I've stated this before, is that you will generally, yes, find a Word document. There may be multiple Word documents, a video chat, and there might be multiple video chats, and sometimes there's publisher PDFs when it comes to the actual lessons, but you know, and I always state in advance. And then sometimes I might add extra videos, but for the Canon's rhetoric, there's a Word document. I think there's 2 Word documents and a video chat of me just kind of breaking it down. What we have due during week 1, again, this is August the 18th through the 22nd, nothing too chaotic. It's just a check-in discussion, and this just allows me to know who's logged on to Blackboard. There's just a couple questions you have to answer. It's in the discussion forum. Nothing crazy, nothing chaotic, just a simple check-in. Again, it's really for me to let me know who has logged on and looked over the information. With this week 1 though, like I said, the first 3 weeks of the course, that means the lessons and everything due, is already open. So you may open and be like, oh gosh, there's a whole lot of stuff here. Never fear, it's not all for week 1. I went ahead and opened the first few weeks just to help with navigational purposes. So with that being said, you're also going to see the first main speech that you do. This module is open, but that's not due for several weeks. And as I stated before in the videos, sorry, my camera went crazy, my paper went crazy. The speech modules, I try to open up at least a week and a half to 2 weeks prior to the due date, so there's plenty of time to look it over and work on it. I know some folks thrive in procrastination, but I also know some folks thrive in, as soon as you get it done. So this way we're kind of, you know, use at your own discretion, so to speak. With that being said, so again, week 1, we're checking stuff. We're looking over introductory stuff. We're checking out the communication process theory module, and then we're also checking out the Canon's rhetoric module. We're going to move into week 2, which is August the 25th through the 29th. Lessons for this week involve speech genres and informative speaking. Speech genres can be found, it'll say speech genres, and informative speaking. Informative speaking is its own module. Again, you're going to find multiple PDFs and video lessons and publisher PDFs. Now, the publisher PDFs are very much like the Word documents. The only difference is I added the publisher PDFs because at the end, they have questionnaires and just little activities that one would do if we were in a face-to-face class that kind of just gives different perspectives on the lessons throughout it. There's nothing required in that. I just like to give as much information as possible. And then when we get into lesson modules, you're also going to find PowerPoint presentations. So you're going to have 4 different methods upon learning the information. So check those out. Again, this week we're discussing speech. The week 2 is the discussion of speech genres and informative speaking. For the purpose of this class, we will cover 3 specified speech genres. But you know, we gotta build the foundations first. That's why we gotta talk about genres before we move into informative. Due this week is a questionnaire for the Canon's Rhetoric Round 1. Now, please don't freak out and be like, I don't know any of this stuff. Round 1 is kind of, you're just telling me what you think the answers are to these questions or your ideas on what they could be. Pretty straightforward, because we're going to do a full circle thing. We're going to come back to this questionnaire and do a round 2 at the end of the course. Exact same questions, only this time, you're going to apply what you learned throughout this course to that questionnaire. And that's a really engaging way for me to see what's working, what doesn't work, what, you know, maybe needs a little improvement, what needs pulled back. Because sometimes I can get a little lengthy in explanations. You know, is it concise? Do you understand it? So don't fret when you look at this question and go, well, I don't know this stuff. It's okay. That's what this course is here for. So we do round 1 at the beginning and round 2 at the end. It's kind of a full circle thing. That's for week 2. Now, the main speech one, which is an introduction speech, that module has been open since you logged on to Blackboard for the first time. That's going to come into play in week 3. So let's go ahead and discuss week 3. Week 3, which is September 1st through the 5th. And remember, this is Labor Day week, so there are no courses on Monday, which is really not anything that comes into play since we're an online class. But I may be later posting. But I say that, but generally I'm not. Again, week 3 is September 1st to the 5th. And this, for the lessons that week, you're just kind of checking out the foundations of public speaking module. In it, you're going to just find the why of the craft and whatnot. And the craft, I mean public speaking. And then there's also a little Word document about the history of public speaking, because it goes, you have to think it goes so far back, and you're going to start seeing names and you're going to start hearing names throughout this course of what I affectionately call the granddaddy of public speaking. And this is really Aristotle is our big one, but you'll also hear Cicero and Plato and, oh my gosh, the 4th one just, but Aristotle's really the main one, because we follow a lot of what the groundwork that he laid. We still follow that to the day, just some updated terminology. So back to week 3, because I can go on a tangent. We're looking at the foundations. Great, grand, and wonderful. Nothing too chaotic. Again, we're still pretty chilled. Up to this point, you've had a check-in discussion due and the Canon's Rhetoric round 1 due. These are all due on Friday unless otherwise stated. Your first main speech is due at the end of this week. It is a introduction speech. What does that mean? You're introducing yourself to me, just like I introduced myself to you in the introduction video that's located at the top of Blackboard, which I know you looked at because it's part of week 1. Anyway, I digress. In the module for the first main speech, you're going to find a Word document and a video chat. They both cover the same thing. When I post Word documents, I like to cover with video chats as well, because some people are more visual, as in seeing videos, than they are reading or entertaining. And you can do either one or both. And then there's also a link to submit the video. Now, I'm going to say this now, and you're going to hear it repetitively throughout this course. This is a public speaking course. When it comes to speeches, you are to record a video of yourself delivering the speech. And when you're happy with your final version, that's the one you upload to me. And another reason why I give such a lengthy amount of time prior to a due date, so that you can submit videos, because sometimes if technology can fail us, it will fail us. Learned that many years of doing this. So give yourself a little grace. And again, these first few weeks, I'm pretty chill and relaxed in the due date submission. And if for some reason something's going on and you cannot get it submitted, reach out to me via email and we'll chat about it and we'll work it out. No big deal. But with this first main speech, it's just an introduction speech. And in the Word document, in the video chat, I discussed there's 5 points that you need to hit. Details for that are in that video. So please, or in that module, please check out that module for the details for it. And I'll discuss it again on weekly videos. So I'm not going to go into detail what exactly the points are. They're pretty straightforward. But again, that's in a Word document and a video chat. Nothing too chaotic. So, wrapping up this video, that's the first 3 weeks of our course. We're looking at the introduction of the course, which is just class information, ACTC information, syllabus, all that stuff, how to communicate, how it works, and as stated in all the introductory video and in that first module, all information will be uploaded and opened on Monday. Sometimes I'll do it the Friday prior to the following week. And in this, you're usually going to have communication from me to you is going to be in the form of an email, a classroom announcement, a video chat that will be uploaded and it'll say week, and then it has the date so you know what week we're working in. And then whatever lesson we're going over, that module will be open. Now, sometimes I might open lesson modules a couple in advance and just tell you, hey, we're looking at this one here, blah, 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 blah. But everything, by the time you log in Monday morning, everything should be open and ready to go. Weekly videos, like I said, they'll stay up for the week and I will take them down. Now, these first few weeks, the videos will stay up a little bit longer, just again, because we are learning to navigate the course and just find our groove with it. So the first 3 weeks, week 1, introductory. Check out all that stuff, plus the communication theory, and look over the canon's rhetoric. If you so choose, it's there and it's open for you. You will find open the check-in discussion, the canon's rhetoric round 1 questionnaire, and the introductory speech, which is the first main speech module. Those are open. That's what's due in the first 3 weeks. Week 2, August 25th to the 29th, we're looking over speech genres and informative speaking, kind of start building our foundations. If you think of it like a pyramid, you have to have that solid foundation so that everything stays together. So right now, that's what we're working on, is building that base. And we do that by learning the basics. And informative speaking, again, that's one of our genres, and that's the one we will use the most throughout this course. That's why I introduced it so early on in the semester. And with lesson modules, as stated previously in this video and other videos, once a lesson module is open, it will remain open for the entirety of the course. So if informative speaking is open now, it will be open throughout this entire course. So at any time, if you're confused or had questions or need clarification or just like, oh, I would really love to watch that video again. I mean, who wouldn't? I jest, haha. You can go back and click on the information. You can check out the PDFs, the PowerPoints, the Word documents, or the video chats, or any of the extra videos that I add. There's these communication scholars, I might add stuff. And again, these just give little snippets and different perspectives of the exact same theories and lessons we're learning in that particular week module. Okay, so week 2, what you have to do is the canon's rhetoric round 1. I think I have all these set to 5 o'clock on Friday, so you have until 5 o'clock to submit on Friday. And week 3 is September 1st to the 5th. That's Labor Day. So you don't have any in-class coursework or anything on Monday. So don't go out in the world. We're looking over the foundations and history of public speaking here. So check that out. Probably more Word documents than SOAP. Video chats in that one. And this is where your first main speech. So the reason why I put just kind of foundations in that week is so that you have you can really focus that week on getting your speech created and submitted. Again, all the details of that are in the main speech introduction module. Okay. I think that covers the first 3 weeks. Anyway, if you have any questions or concerns or just need to chat, please reach out to me and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I hope you have an amazing week and thank you so much. Bye.